Okay, welcome Year 12s to this video. I'm going to take you through how we do median smoothing. So in our last lesson of last term, we went through how we smooth time series values using the mean, so using the average values. And we did that for 3 points, for 5 points, and we also looked at how we do it for an even number of points. So we looked at 4. I'm going to do the same thing today, but this time we're going to try and smooth these points using the median instead. So obviously this is a different measure of centre, so you don't want to get confused with the first one that we did with the mean. These are very different, although the process itself is quite similar, which you'll see in a moment. Now there is a benefit actually of using the median as opposed to the mean, and that is this not being influenced by outliers. So that's true of other measures that we've looked at, measures of centre. Obviously, we've compared mean and median in the past, and we know that median is resistant to outliers. So it's the same when we smooth using the medians. It is resistant to those outliers, which is really beneficial when you have those present. There's another benefit, and that is that you can do this graphically, so you don't actually need the table there, and I'll show you that with each of these examples as well. So for 3 point, I've got a graph here that we'll have a go at smoothing that just from the graph. We've also got one for the 5 point, which is below that. Again, we will look at some of the ones with even numbers. So we'll use the 2 point moving median as well, and because it's an even number of points that we're using to smooth, we do need to center those as well. So this will look familiar to you hopefully after doing the mean smoothing. So we'll do a couple of examples. We won't do the whole table, but we'll do a couple of examples where we smooth using 2 point moving median, but we'll also do that with the 4 point. That's another one that we might come across. So if I go back to the start where we've got our 3 point moving median, what we're going to do is just like when we did our means, is we're going to focus on 3 points at a time, and you'll see that that's highlighted here. Now, just like with the moving mean, these first values, the first time period, the first month for January, it doesn't have a neighbour either side of it. So I'm actually not going to find the moving median for January, and I can't do it also for December because I can't get 3 points on this end and I can't get 3 points on that end either. Therefore, the first one that we'll look at is for February, and you'll see that I've highlighted here 3 points. So what we want is the month, or the number of births for the month itself, plus 1 either side. So for February, to smooth February, we need to get the median of January, February, and March. So therefore the median of 10, 12, and 6. Don't forget, with a median, you need your values ordered. Therefore, when you order this, 6, 10, and 12, the median is 10, which is why our smoothed value for February is 10. Moving across to the next 3, so now if I'm looking at these 3 here, I'm now looking at March. You'll see it's centered on March. 1 neighbor either side of March, therefore 3 points altogether. We want now the median of these 3 values, so median of 5, 6, and 12. Remember, it must be ordered. The median, the middle number, is 6. Therefore, our smooth value for March using the 3 point moving median is 6. What you then need to do is start working across. So therefore the next 3. So we move across 1 every time until we reach the end, which would be for November. And each time we need to find the median. So you don't need to draw all over your table, but you do need to focus on the 3. Sometimes it's good to use your hands to block out either side and just focus on the 3 points that you need to work on. So for April, we've got 5, 6, 22. So I always just say the numbers in my head in order, and then whichever one I say second. Because with 3 values, the second value would be the median. So we can see the second one there is 6. For these 3, 5, 18, then 22. Middle is 18. These 3 here, 13, then 18, then 22. So this one's also 18. These 3, 7, 13, then 18. So this one would be 13. These 3 here, 7, then 9, then 13. So middle number's 9. 7, 9, then 10. Middle is 9. These three here, 8, 9, 10. Middle is 9. You can see that we get some numbers repeated, but that's okay. That's the whole point of this. Last three, 8, then 10, then 15. So this is 10. You can see that if we had a really high number or a really low number, that it wouldn't matter, because if you take into account the other numbers, the numbers either side of, say, November, then it wouldn't matter if there was a really high or really low number, because it wouldn't be the median. Hence, you can see why outliers tend to be excluded in these smooth values. Okay, so here are our smooth values, and from there we could plot them onto a graph, but you can actually, if you're given just the graph, you can find the median values from the graph. This process is similar to when we find the regression line, the 3 median regression line, because we are able to find the median points from a graph when we do that. So this is going to be very much the same. So what we want to do, if we're doing it from a graph, we focus on the first 3 points only. And again, we move across each time by 1 point, so that we're only ever focusing on 3 at a time for this particular smoothing process. So if I'm just focusing on 3 at a time, I could actually just highlight for you just these 3 here. Now, the median of these 3 in terms of the months, so we've got month 1, 2, and 3, so it's always going to be the month that's in the middle here. So somewhere along this line is my median, but I want to know the median in terms of the number of births. So if I start just looking at the bottom or the lowest number from these 3 and work my way up to the top. So this is the lowest, this one's in the middle, this one is the top. So this is my median here. So it's got to be in line with 10 births, but we are centering it, we are focused, and this is going to be a problem, I can see. So I'm just going to get rid of some of this. Make it a little bit less messy. We are putting our median value right there. So the median for month 2 is 10. Now if I can take this and move it across, which I should be able to, we then focus on these 3 points. Those 3 there. Okay, so the median for the months, so here we've got month 2, 3, and 4, the median's 3. So somewhere along this line, I need to have a cross placed for my median, for the smoothed median. If I start from the bottom and work my way up, so just like I did before, this is the bottom number here, this one here is in the middle. So actually this median is right on that spot there. So this is for month 3, and the median looks like about 6. And this is the same data from up there. So you see we got the same value. The median for March was 6. Now let's move across. So we want to put a little cross each time. Now if I just take this across, because now we are working on the next 3, and you'll see we've got a much bigger value here. So I'm going to extend this a bit. These 3 values now. Okay, middle is 4, middle across, looking vertically. So this is the bottom, this one's in the middle, that one's up the top. So my median is in here. So it's in line with that one there. So do your best to get it accurate. It's a little bit trickier on the computer. It'll be easier for you on your worksheet. Okay, so we smooth these ones here. We move across. It's a bit of a time-consuming process on here, but it's much quicker on paper, I assure you. Okay, middle is 5. Middle this way. Bottom, middle, top. So here. So in line with that one there, in line with the 5. And we move across. We try to move across. It's a bit sensitive. Just give me a second, I'm going to use the mouse. Okay, there we go. Middle is the 6, so we're looking for the smooth value for the 6th month. Middle going up is this one here. And move across. These 3 now. And you don't need to draw any boxes or anything on your sheet. I'm just doing this this way just to show you which 3 I'm working on each time. Like I said, just use your fingers to block out the outer points so you can see which 3 that you're working on. Middle is 7, middle point is that one there, looking vertically. And now move across to the next 3. Middle point is 8, middle point looking from bottom up is that one there. And move across. So these 3. Middle is 9. Middle going from the bottom up is that one there. So you can see if I was to draw a straight line through these, how it has reduced. It's reduced these peaks, that one somewhat, but it's also lifted these troughs just slightly. Okay, nearly there. These 3 here. Now these ones are quite close, so it's a bit tricky, but here's our middle value 10. That one looks like it's at the bottom, and then this one is slightly below that one, so it's in line with that value there. Okay, and these 3. Middle value is 11, middle value going up from the bottom up. So this is bottom, that's middle, that's the top. It must be in line with that middle one. And there we go. If I try and do the next 3, you'll notice we've only got 2 points. So that one's now gone. So each time we smooth, yes, we do lose those values on the end, but it has given us a much better look at this data. It hasn't smoothed it a great deal. To do that, what we might like to look at is using more points, so using 5 points. So that's how we do it on a graph. And there we go up there, that's how we do it from a table. So whenever I refer to from the table, from the graph, hopefully you can see the difference. If we go down to 5-point moving median now, we are going to do the same process, but yes, this is a little trickier because now we're working with 5 points rather than 3. So don't forget your median values. You've got to order those birth values, so we've got them here. So whatever your DV is, it does need to be ordered in to be able to find the median. That's a common mistake, just to get the middle number of the unordered data. So we want to be really, really careful with this. So first example here, we can't find the 5-point moving mean or median for these outer 2 because we don't have 2 neighbours to the right. We don't have 2 neighbours to the right for November, December, or 2 neighbours to the left for January, February. So it means that we do lose these outer 2, but that's okay. What we now will do, we'll look at March. So we've got these 5 values here, and we need the median of those. If you order those, so you can see up here, 5, 6, 10, 12, then 22. The middle is the 3rd number. It's 10. If we do that now for these 5, therefore finding it for April, because April is in the middle of those 5 values, ordering would give us 5, 6, 12, then 18 and 22. So you'll see that the median is 12. It's the 3rd number. And when you've got 5 values, the median is always the 3rd. Just like when you've got three values, the median number is always the 2nd. Okay, so let's do it for the last ones then. If I want to find it for May, I need to look at these 5. So you don't need to write it out if you don't want to. If it makes it easier for you, then you can, but just be wary that it's gonna take you more time to do that. So I just want the 3rd highest value. So I've got 5, 6, then 13. So if I get rid of that line first, 13 is my median for May, a smooth value for May. If I go for June, 5 values. Now I need the median. So lowest is 5, so 5, then 7, then 13. So you'll see this one is also 13. The next 5. There they are there. Order them, 7, then 9, then 13. 13 again, except I forgot to get rid of that line, so do that again. All right, next 5. 5 values. 9 or 7, then 9, then 10 when you order them. For September, there they are there. So we've got 7, then 8, then 9. And finally for October, we want those last 5. So order them, and it's the third highest. 7, then 8, then 9 again. And there are our smoothed births. If you didn't have a graph, you would then probably plot these to get the smoothed graph, the smooth time series, and then you can have a look and see if there's any trend. What we've got actually is it already graphed, so this is our original data graphed. And what we'll do now is have a go at doing it graphically. So have a go at getting the median just using the graph. Okay, I'll try and do this a little bit faster this time. Okay, so the first 5 values, the center of those first 5 falls here on March, on the 3rd month. Therefore, we're not going to be able to get a median for these outer 2. So just like on the table. Okay, so for these first 5, we want the 3rd highest value. So 1, 2, 3. There it is there. So it must be in line. Must be in line with this value here. Must be in line with 3. That's meant to be a cross, but it looks like a little squiggle. The next 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Centered on 4. So centered just here. Now we want to start counting up again. So lowest, 2nd, and this one's 3rd here. So it's got to be in line with that one. Okay, moving across to 5 now. So just here, month 5. So these are my 5 that I'm looking at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lowest, middle, 3rd highest is there. So it must be in line with that point over there, but in line with the 5 as well. Moving across to 6. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're my 5 points. Lowest, 2nd, 3rd. So it's in line with that one again. You can see we're getting quite a straight line here, aren't we? Or a bit more of a horizontal line is what I'm trying to say. Moving across to 7, we've got these 3 plus those 2. So this is the lowest, that's the next highest. This one is the next highest again. So right on that spot there. So there's the 7th month. 8th month. So 2 either side we're checking. Lowest, 2nd, and this is the 3rd, the middle. Let's drop down a little bit. But you can see the effect that it's had on this trough here and on that big peak. It has smoothed it out. Okay, 9th month, so just here. We have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points there. This is the lowest. Then it looks like the next highest is that one there. So this one would be the middle. And finally the 10th month, because these are the last 5 dots. So centered on 10, my dot will be somewhere along here. This is the lowest, that's the 2nd, and it looks like that one there is the 3rd, so it's got to be in line with that one. It's just below the original one. And there's my smoothed values. Now what we can do as well, which I won't do because it's going to it's not going to look very neat at all, but we can connect that with a straight line, because we know our time series is connected with a straight line. So you can do that with your 5 point, and you can also do it with your 3 point. You can see that the 3 point median did not smooth it as effectively as the 5 point median did. So that was the same with our mean, wasn't it? You'll remember when we did our mean, we plotted the 3 point and the 5 point on the same set of axes, and we could see that the 5 point was more effective, and it's the same with the median. We can see we've still got a bit of a peak and trough in this graph here, whereas the 5 point median has smoothed it out quite considerably. We can see that from here, from this smooth data here, that there doesn't seem to be an upward or downward trend. It does seem to be fairly steady, the number of births over time. So that is how we do the 3 point and the 5 point using the medians. Again, just be careful, make sure you're ordering that data as you go. One thing that we did with the mean was the 2 point moving mean in some of the exercises that you did. And I said to some of you that when you find the 2 point mean or the 2 point meaning, you're effectively doing the same thing. Because when you have 2 points, just say you had 9 and 11, and I asked you to find the average of those, you'd add them together and you'd divide by 2, wouldn't you? To find the mean of those two. So that would be 10. When you find the median of those two as well, 9 and 11, it's nice and easy. We know that the number in between is a 10. But if we had really difficult numbers, you do in fact do the same process. You add them together and you divide them by 2 to find what number is in the center or right in the middle of those two numbers. So, in essence, the 2 point moving median and the 2 point moving mean will give you the same results because you are going to find it the same way. We're not going to do it for the whole table because it does take time, and you know from finding it and using the centering method that it can be quite messy. But if we do a couple on the table, from this table here, a couple of them, hopefully you will get the gist of it. It's pretty rare you'd have to do it for the whole table. Generally, from questions that I've seen, you just need to do it for certain values. But if you had to say for an assessment task for the SAC, then yes, it would be fairly messy. So you'd want to make sure your workings are really neat in this case. I haven't given you a lot of space to do that with this sheet. So let's just find the 2 point moving median for a couple of them. So we know when we've got an even number that we can't find the moving mean or the moving median the same way. We have to do this process called centering. We actually have to find the smooth value on either side of the time period we're given. So in this case, when t equals 3, we need to find the value for either side of that 3. So in between t is 2, t is 3, in between t is 3, t is 4. That's a bit of a mouthful. So, same process, I like to put these arrows down either side just to indicate I'm finding it for each side before I then find the average or the median of those to get my final smooth value for y. So, for this first one, we can see we need the median of 9 and 11. That's the one I just did before. The median number in the middle, nice and easy, it's a 10. Now, if I need to do it for the other side, I'm now looking at these two values, the 11 and the 7, and I need the median of those. So, easiest way if you have values like this is just to add them together and then divide by 2. So 11 and 7 is 18, 18 on 2 is 9. So the median smooth value on either side of 3 is 10 and 9. So now if I find the average of those, or the median of those, because it's actually going to be the same thing, average of those two is 9.5. So my smooth value for when t equals 3 is 9.5. Now you could do this for 2 as well because you can find the other side of 2, but we can't actually do it for 1 and we can't do it for 9 either. So if you wanted to go through and fill in this table, you could. Let's do one more together though. This one is the 2 median smooth value when t is equal to 6. Again, bring your arrows down either side of the 6. This first value here would be for the left-hand side of 6. Those two values are 8 and 12. Therefore, I need the median of 8 and 12. So you can add them together, divide by 2, or that one's easy. This one here is also not a hard one because the middle value of 11 and 12, 11.5. And finally, to center that, I need to add these two together and divide by 2, 10.75. So the smooth value for t equals 6 would be 10.75. So if I go up here, 10.75. Now you can go through and complete those just to get some more practice, I guess, on that. But we can also do it with the 4-point moving median. So we'll just do one example with this. You can see it is time consuming, but you should be able to get the general gist of it from this example. So if we want to do it for t is equal to 5, again, either side of 5 we must look at so that we've got the same number of points on either side of that arrow. So for 4-point moving median, these are my 4 points for that first arrow there, 11, 7, 8, and 12. And you see that that is written just down here anyway. To get the median, obviously we need to order those, so 7, 8, 11, then 12. And then we must find the median of those. So that's going to be in between 8 and 11. For this one here, 4 points with the arrow in the middle of the 4 points, so 2 either side of the arrow, 7, 8, 12, and 10. When you order those, we get 7, 8, 10, 12. Middle of 8 and 10 is 9. We then must find the median of those two, or the mean, because like I said, when you've got two values, it's the same thing. The middle point of those two is 9.25. So that is our 4-point moving median smoothed value, bit of a mouthful, when t is equal to 5. So you'll see that you can be asked just for one value from the table. So that would be an ideal exam question because you don't need to do it for the whole table. You only need to use that table to get one final answer. So it is very important that you are able to do all of these, not just for the SAC, but obviously for the exam at the end of the year as well. Now you need to get some practice with this. You'll see at the bottom, I've highlighted here for you, exercise 7C, 1 to 4, and question 6 as well. If you're having any problems, you will need to send me an email or just speak to me when I'm back from camp, which is on Thursday. So in Thursday's lesson, bring to me any questions that you've had with exercise 7C. Thanks very much for watching this video, and good luck in getting this completed.